This is a CBS News special report. I'm Scott Pelley at CBS News headquarters in New York. Good afternoon. There is breaking news in a CBS News investigation of this country's largest veterans charity. The board of directors of the Wounded Warrior Project has just fired the chief executive officer and the chief operating officer. Our investigation raised questions about how that charity spends the millions of dollars it receives in donations each year. Chip Reid is our correspondent on the story, and he's here with the breaking news. Chip?
Well, Scott, Wounded Warrior's chief executive officer Stephen Nardizzi and chief operating officer Al Giordano were fired after criticisms from more than 40 employees about how it spends its more than $800 million raised in donations in the past 4 years. The allegations include lavish spending by the charity at staff retreats and other costs at the expense of programs for veterans. The charity's board of directors made the decision after meeting this afternoon in New York. Sources tell CBS News the board has received preliminary results of a financial and policy audit, but there are indications that the investigation will continue. Scott, there are also discussions underway about retired senior military officials who are being considered to take over the helm of the organization, which has raised more than $1 billion since its inception in 2003.
It's an enormous charity, Chip. What are some of the things that happened to it after we broadcast the original report in our investigation?
Well, first of all, we are well aware that there has been a major internal debate over what to do about it and whether to fire the CEO. And also, there have been a number of major donors who have simply bailed out, stopped contributing, and said that they want this to end.
In fact, the board launched this internal investigation after your original report.
That's exactly right, Scott.
And one of the things that we discovered is when you compared the Wounded Warrior Project to other major well-known veterans charities, they were spending far less on the veterans themselves.
That's right. Between 54 and 60% they were spending on the veterans themselves. Other organizations that we analyzed spent more than 90% on the veterans.
And a lot of this money was going to parties and conventions that they were having.
And some big salaries.
And some big salaries. Chip, thank you very much. To repeat now, the CEO and the chief operating officer of Wounded Warrior Project have been fired today. This follows our CBS News investigation that exposed the lavish spending by the country's largest veterans charity. Chip Reid and his producer Jennifer Janisch will have more about this on tonight's CBS Evening News and on our 24-hour digital news service, CBSN. Until then, I'm Scott Pelley, CBS News in New York.